on this show, we always know that the guest goes first. So Marcie, won't you kick us off with your number 5?
Okay, okay. And I'm going to be interested to see if we have any where we feel the same or if there are any duplicates in this list. But
Mm-hmm.
my number 5 is actually Waiting to Exhale,
Mm.
1995 film based upon the 1992 book by Terry McMillan. And so
Mhm.
we know, well, if you're old enough, I am old enough, right?
I
That
am too.
when Waiting to Exhale came out in 92, it was a really big thing. Just think of all the stuff that was happening in the early 90s with our music, with all the
Yeah.
black films, all, even black people on TV. So it was really good to see this book come out and really begin to talk about black women's stories. Now, of course, there are people who didn't like it, of course.
I did like it.
Men, because she was talking about men. Of course,
Lord.
you
Okay.
know. But what I loved about the book, and then 3 years later when the film came out, is that it really was an opportunity to see Black women shine, to see them have them be able to tell their stories about what it means to to be dating or to be married and getting a divorce, just a lot of the things
Yeah.
that women went through. And then of course it was directed by a man, Forrest Whitaker,
Yes,
directed.
and that was his directorial debut as well.
Absolutely was. And we can
Yeah.
talk a little bit more about men directing women in a little while, but it was it was just really good. He did a really good job of
He
telling them.
did.
He really did. And of course, we had our beloved Whitney Houston, Angela Bassett, Leela Rashawn, Loretta Devine, some women that have done so. Of course, Whitney's not with us anymore, but some of the other women have done so much more since then. And this was an introduction
Mhm.
to for many of us to their work. And last but not least, I cannot forget that banging soundtrack. It had like one of
Come
the
on
best
now.
soundtracks ever. So that comes in at number 5 for me.
And I think didn't Babyface win a Grammy or something for the soundtrack?
We probably did because that soundtrack had Whitney. It had
Everybody,
Toni
Mary
Braxton,
J.
Mary J,
Oh, that's
TLC, Shantae
Tony
Moore.
Braxton. Wait, was it
Yeah,
Tony Braxton?
yeah, Tony was on
Yeah.
there. Chaka Khan had a song on there. Who else? Pay LaBelle had a song on there, and
Mm-hmm.
Faith Evans. So I mean, some of everybody, the who's who of black women in music. And I can't forget CeCe Winans. They
Oh
can't
yes. Count
was
on Me, her and her duet with Whitney. That's one of my
yeah,
favorite songs.
yeah. So I mean, that is coming in at number 5 for me.
Okay. Okay. That's a good pick. And I'm glad you mentioned the soundtrack because we are going to do an episode in the future with our top 5 favorite movie soundtracks.
Mhm.
That's going to be a good one. I know for sure that one is going to be on my
It
list.
should be.
Okay, so my number 5 is, and I love this movie. Every time it comes on, it doesn't matter if it's in the middle or whatever, I'm going to watch it. And that is Think Like a Man.
Okay.
Mhm. Written, of course, written by Steve Harvey. I think Like a Man came out in 2012, and it starred. The reason why I wanted to see it is Michael. Michael Ealy got me to
Michael
that.
Keaton, yeah, yeah, of course. Even though he
So,
oftentimes doesn't play a nice person, but yes, he's nice to look at.
oh yeah. So it had Kevin Hart, Michael Ealy, Gary Owen, Romney Malco. Who else was in that? Terrence from 106 in Park. I think that was like one of his
Right.
debuts in acting. And I just again, I was the one, I had the book, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I had the book. I enjoyed the book. I like Steve Harvey, and I know some people don't, you know, care for Steve. And okay, and I get it, but that film, it was hilarious,
Mm-hmm.
and I like how it followed, the four or five different men. Gabrielle Union was in it too. Yep. That just
Right.
my memory, right? She was like in everything at one point.
Right.
But yeah, but that movie, it just, especially the Taraji P. Henson character and the Michael Ealy character,
Mhm.
because, and I don't know how women may feel differently. As a matter of fact, I know they do feel differently about something like this, because she was, very successful in the corporate world. I mean, probably making like what, six, seven, maybe figures. And
Mhm.
here he is, Michael Ealy, just trying to come into what he wanted to do. And a lot of times, we as women, we can, it could be somebody that's that's good for us, good to us, but we like, he doesn't make that much.
Mhm.
And I get it, you want to have somebody that makes comfortably like close to you or whatever, but sometimes you just got to find your own path. And
Right.
I just love that movie. I do. Again, with the comedic relief with the Kevin Hart
Mhm.
and his crazy self. But
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So that's my number five. I really like Think Like a Man.
All right. And I just have to throw this in there because we
Yeah.
are talking about the books. Of course, Steve Harvey wrote it. However, his ghostwriter was Deneen Milner, a
Okay.
Black woman writer who was his ghostwriter. She actually is here in Atlanta as well. She's written
Yeah.
quite a few books herself. But yeah, he got the top billing, but she actually was the
Mm.